morning, class 7, boys and girls. Open your literature book at page number 117 and concentrate on the poem King Ahmak Shah by C.H. Pine. Now, okay, class 7, today I'll explain to you this poem. And class 7, get ready for your first online test from 14th September onwards. You'll be getting your timetable, exam timetable and the rest paraphernalia in your WhatsApp. Now see, this King Ahmak Shah, a king. His name is Ahmak. A king. What are the precious things to the king? Gold, jewelries, his crown, his royal robes, his ministers, his wife, sons or daughters, or his horse, his sword, his cook. Anything can be precious to a king, or his royal throne. Now this poem, King Ahmak Shah, speaks of how foolish a king can be and how spendthriftly he wastes his money. That means the money he acquires as revenues, which gets deposited at in his exchequer, being submitted by the common people as taxes. Now see, I am reading the poem now. An Arab merchant came to the court of Ahmak Shah one day. One day, an Arab merchant, came to his kingdom and came to his court of King Ahmak Shah and said, "Whence are you, friend?" The king inquired, "And what is your business? Pray." Naturally, the king, on seeing the Arab merchant, "Who are you, my friend? And for what business you had come to my court, to my palace?" See what the merchant replied. The Arab merchant bowed him down till his forehead touched the floor, and thus he addressed King Ahmak Shah, protector of the poor. The merchant, in a gesture of full flattery and respect, bowed down before the king, touched the ground, kissed his feet with his forehead, and said that, O King Ahmak Shah, you are the protector of the poor. You are the protector of the poor. The poor always looks towards you, at you, for protection, for sustenance of their living. For 1,00,000 rupees, 1 paltry lakh, your slave will bring you the finest horse that ever roamed the deserts around. So the merchant is not trading a business with the king and tells him, if you give me a paltry, a minimum sum of 1,00,000, which is a very, very, very nominal amount for a king. If you give a 1,00,000, then your slave can bring the finest breeded horse, Arabian horse, to you. On hearing this offer, see what the king replies. Give him the money, cried Ahmak, said, if there is anything else on the world, it is a purebred Arab steed. Steed means riding horse. So the king instantly ordered, give this merchant the money and let him bring the purest breed of Arabian riding horse. That night the king was in a merry mood. He was very joyful mood. The king was in the very joyful mood at that night, and having nothing to do, he bade his minister write him a list. He asked his minister, he was in a very jolly mood, the king. He asked his minister to write of the greatest fools he knew. He wanted the minister to jot down the name of the greatest fools, the most stupid peoples he knew, to be written in the list. The minister wrote, and handing the names to the king, the minister wrote the names of the fools he knew in this kingdom and handed the list to the king and said, I have placed them, he said, in order of merit, so to speak, your majesty's name as the head. My God, what the minister said? Minister said to the king, I had written the names of all the fools in the kingdom, according to the status. And, O your majesty, O King Ahmak, your name is at the top of the list. You are heading the list. That means the number one fool in the kingdom is the king himself, according to the minister. By your beard of the king, said Ahmak Shah, you are a bold vizier. Vizier means, in a Muslim country, it's an official designation of a king. You can say a minister. May I inquire to what I owe this eminence, as it were? The king inquired from the minister. Minister, why did you include my name? May I know what were the reasons? You tell me what are the reasons that you listed my name at the top of the foolish people's list in the kingdom, and I'm heading the list. Please tell me the reason. To trust that thief with a lakh of rupee was an act of great fool, the minister said, and there's no getting over the fact. The minister replied, yes, soon the merchant which came, Arabian merchant, is a thief, and he trusted a thief. A thief should not be trusted. A thief is a thief. He's the most unfaithful, untruthful person, a thief. You trusted that guy. He said, give me lakh of rupees and you get a purebred of Arabian horse. You trusted the thief and gave him the money. So you were a fool. If he brings me the horse, what then? Asked the king. Then the king told the minister, suppose if that thief, if that merchant, the thief, brings me the horse, then what will happen? I shall take your majesty's name from the list and place his there instead. Then the minister replied, then I'll remove your name, and instead of your name, I'll put my name heading the list. So, this is a very humorous poem. He speaks of the King Ahmak Shah's foolish name, foolishness, and nothing else.